to hit record.
Okay. All right.
I'll have to ask you to start over, Luke.
Okay. I was just summarizing the two first items on the agenda related to the proposed truck and tractor pull. They're both agreements to enter into with companies that provide the services for this event. The township would be the signatory on these agreements, being the mayor and CAO. So if council sees fit to pass these bylaws 25 and 26, they would authorize the entering into these agreements.
Thank you, Luke. Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld, did you want to speak to where we are and before I read the resolution for the bylaw?
Sure. So just one thing. So Kevin has gotten enough sponsorship money to meet that $5,000 threshold with, I think, a little more. I'm not exactly sure the final total of that. And he's still looking for other sponsorship. The other thing, too, is he's meeting with the Bonisher Company, some of those people looking at the track again. Unfortunately, because they didn't have quorum, we still don't have a letter in writing saying they're going to look after the track. Our next working committee meeting is on Monday at the Snowdrifters at 7. And I'm hoping at that time he'll have a working budget, and also the fact that he should have something in writing about the porta potty and how much that's going to cost. And the last thing was, I know he's also met with the leader in regards to some posters, and I'll have a figure on how much that is going to cost. So anybody's welcome to come to that working meeting too. Yes, and hopefully we can certainly have a finalized budget at that meeting. If I'm hoping Kevin will have a draft, but yeah, it would be really nice to finalize a budget by that point as well. Any other questions or comments? Councillor Buckwald or Councillor Robinson, any?
Oh, I think I think Janet has answered the burning question, is meeting the target number, and that I think was crucial.
Councillor Buckwald?
Yeah, I think that's the only thing that we were looking for, was just to extend that deadline. I did have one question on the contract pricing. Was this the contract pricing that we expected, so that the $15,000 was taking into account the fundraising that was already done? Because my thought was that the cost of the project was going to be approximately the $15,000 was the number we had given, but that the $5,000 raised to date was coming off of that. I don't know if that was my misunderstanding or if those numbers are different than what we thought.
Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld or Luke?
So, like, it was with my understanding to sign the contracts and to make sure the township's insurance was paid, we needed $15,000. $10,000 came from the township and $5,000 came through sponsorship. Like, we're looking for more sponsorship, but we needed the minimum of that $5,000 to fulfill the commitments, those commitments that are really before us right now.
Okay, thank you. That works.
Okay, I'm seeing no further questions, so I will read the resolution. Now, therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw. Bylaw 2025-25 or -025, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of agreement between the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township and MNL Enterprises. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Robinson, seconded by Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld. Any further comments or questions? Seeing none, then I will ask for the vote. All in favor? And that's carried. Thank you. And then the second bylaw states that now, therefore, the Council of North Algona Wilberforce enact the following bylaw. Bylaw 2025-26, being a bylaw to authorize the execution of an agreement between the Corporation of North Algona Wilberforce Township and Whitewater Truck and Tractor Pullers, the acronym WWTTP. Can I get a mover and a seconder? Moved by Councillor Recchi Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Once again, any further questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes, okay, thanks, Doug. Yeah,
Sorry, I've got some internet issues, so I turned my camera off to improve the bandwidth here.
okay, I appreciate you giving me the yes. So thank you, that is carried. And that takes care of the first item. So the next item on our agenda is the music festival. And we have with us today Nirvana Fernandez and Zig. And the music festival is KN Ware Music Festival. And I will read the resolution and then open it up for questions. That council agrees pursuant to section 5.0 of bylaw 2020-49, the noise bylaw, to extend the time that amplification equipment may be used at an outdoor public or private event on Friday, September 12th, 2025 to Monday, September 15th, 2025 from 11 p.m. to 4 a.m. for the KN Ware Music Festival located at 10441 Highway 60. Can I get a mover and a seconder, please? Moved by Councillor Recchi Schoenfeld, seconded by Councillor Robinson. Questions or comments? I'm seeing no question. Oh, Councillor Recchi Schoenfeld. Councillor Recchi Schoenfeld, maybe I'll let Nirvana give a little bit of information first, and then I'll come back to you. So Nirvana, the floor is yours. Please go ahead.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thanks for taking the time today to speak with me. So Nowhere Music Festival is something that we've been building for a while now, and we're really excited for the opportunity to bring it to your township. It's a multi genre arts and wellness festival that we would be bringing to the Ravens Knoll. And it's going, our max capacity is 5,000 people plus 350 in staff. We'll be bringing all of our resources from outside of the town, and we'll be also using our resources to make sure that no resources are being drained from the township. So by matter of waste and garbage disposal and paramedics and stuff like that, we have private companies coming to provide those services for us. So I'm open to any questions or anything you guys would like to ask me.
Thank you very much, Nirvana. Councillor Recchi Schoenfeld, I'll turn the floor to you.
Where do you hope to draw the people from that are going to come to the festival? And how do you go about advertising so people know what's going on?
So we would be drawing on from we expect, and from our data that we currently have, that we're drawing people from Ottawa, Montreal, and Toronto.
And then how about, like, is there a website and that's where people know what's going on?
So there's a website, there is an Instagram page, there's a TikTok page, and we use social media marketing to be able to advertise the event.
And so most of the people are going to like camp in Ravens Knoll, like camp on site.
Yes, camp on site is it's a camping festival. It's an overnight camping festival. So majority of the people would be camping on site. There would be no in and out privileges for those individuals. We'd be bringing all the resources from a food and water standpoint by way of food trucks. We have water sponsors to provide potable and drinkable water to all the attendees. And even like I'm not sure if you're familiar with Purple Potties out of Ottawa, will be providing the sanitary services. And then we have Chandeliers, which will be providing temporary shower solutions as well.
And what is the demographic, the age demographic of the people? Do you know? Or is it like a wide range? Is it like 30?
It's a pretty wide range. It's all the way. So it's a 19 plus festival. So I would say that it's between 19 and 36.
And once again, Nirvana, the genre of music is primarily
pop EDM, and we're also now starting to explore having local jam bands from the area as well.
Thank you. Councillor Reggie Schoenfeld, anything to follow?
Just how big are the stages itself? It might have been in the stuff I read, but I'm not sure.
So there's a total of 3 stages.
Mm-hmm.
2 of the stages would fit on like what we call an SL320. Those are the prefabricated, pre-engineered stages that just come in on trucks and open up. So that would be about 45 feet long by 25 feet deep.
Okay.
And that would be about 26 feet high. Our main stage is a bigger piece of a bigger installation. So as of right now, as it stands, it's about 60 feet long, about 35 feet deep, and about 30 feet tall. Yeah.
Okay. And about how long does it take you to assemble everything before the public gets there? Is that a week-long thing?
It's a month-long process for us to set up. So the stages and whatnot go up in about a week and get torn down in about a week. It's the rest of the site stuff that we need to do. So therefore, like marking out, one of the most tedious tasks and the most draining tasks is us having to mark out each individual camp spot. So when you arrive at the festival, it's not like you come in and it's like a free-for-all, you get to pick your spot. We have allocated, we have a camping ops team that goes in and, puts stakes in the ground and then uses like a ball of rope and then marks out exactly how much space you're getting for each campsite. So that's the most tedious part. And then also start build the other things is like art installations and stuff that we would be installing. So it's not just the stages that are coming. We have a lot of art teams and individuals that would be coming to build these installations on site. Things like a light forest or a giant mural wall where everyone can leave their mark who attended the festival. One of the other most challenging, the time consuming things is the fencing. So we do have close to 5 kilometers of fencing being trucked in for this festival. So that's in order to provide perimeter fencing to the ground so no one can leave or get in. It's purely for a standpoint of control. It also helps us segregate the different areas and also create proper fire emergency exits and allows us to actually control the flow.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Councillor Robinson, you had a question?
Hi, it was answered. Thank you.
Okay. Councillor Buckwalt, anything?
Actually, yeah, Nirvana, just a quick question. I'm guessing you've done more than one of these events because it sounds like you've already talked about the things that are difficult to do. How many of these have you done since your group organized?
So for the outdoor camping experience, with my partner Sig, I believe Sig, my festival director, has done plenty. I let Sig answer that question. As for my company specifically in Ontario, we've done one, two, three. We've done three major outdoor large scale events in Toronto. They weren't overnight, but they were pretty big events. You can see them on our pages. We did one at Markham Fairgrounds, we did one at RBC Echo Beach, and then we did another large like more indoor activation during the winter sorry, not winter activation, called Waterfront Night Market, which was more music, food, and not usually what we traditionally do, but what from a production standpoint was a large undertaking. We had 35,000 people in attendance over the 3 days. And that was at the Hotel X grounds.
Okay.
And for me personally, I've been producing music festivals since officially, I would say, since about 2007. The Voodoo Music Experience in New Orleans, the Essence Music Festival, NOLA by NOLA, camping a festival very similar to this in the Pocono Raceway in Long Pond, Pennsylvania, called Elements, which I have been doing for the last 4 years, and we've grown it from 5,000 people to close to 25,000 people. Voodoo had 75,000 people a day, and for a couple of years we did host camping. I also do the Montreux Jazz Festival in Miami, and in the past I've done Summer Smash, which is a hip hop festival in Chicago with 40,000 people a day. So really the gambit of it. And our other partner, Coalition, recently did Texas Eclipse during the eclipse last year, and other camping festivals, and are a partner in the Elements Music Festival in Pennsylvania also. Of course, the number one reason why I'm here is one, belief in Nirvana and his partners and the vision of the show, and an understanding of making sure that we aren't disruptive to the community, that we create a safe space for everyone to have a really nice time, and everyone comes and has a good time. And with this audience in particular, it's a very thoughtful experience for everybody. So hopefully the impact on day-to-day life in the area isn't really affected.
All right, that's awesome, because I have to say, when I reviewed the materials that you had provided for us, like for your action planning and the services that you're going to be providing, I was really impressed. It's apparent to me that you guys have gone through this before, and it's not, yeah, we'll just throw this together. It looks like you really thought it out and really planned, and I'm looking forward to it.
Great. We look forward to seeing you.
Thank you.
I did, yeah, go ahead.
Councillor Robinson.
I guess one of the questions, it's going to be a lot of people in a relatively small space. What are some of the risks that we would be looking out for?
So we've been able to mitigate most of those risks. So in all reality, when we visited the site, we thought it was a lot more like densely populated by the trees. Like there was a lot of trees, and because there was a lot of trees, there wasn't a lot of space. But actually, as you know, when the mayor came to the site, the trees are large, and there's tons of space on this property because of the underpassings of the trees before the branches even start. So for usually when we do events like this, there is a rule of thumb that it's 7 square foot per person for areas of people to congregate and enjoy music. But we've done our calculations based on 12 square feet per person. And just to give you an idea, just that one main field where we're going to have the main stage, that stage's capacity is actually, just based on numbers, not what we're doing, is 20,000 people just in that one, for that one stage area. So obviously it's a camping music festival, and there's going to be a lot more allotments in terms of like housing. Each person's tent and camping space is anywhere between 100 square feet. Then the RVs get 450 square feet per lot. So based on that space, we've been able to actually provide pretty detailed area of where everything's going to go. And from a risk and safety standpoint, the only thing on our end that is going to prove to be risky is people tripping and spraining their ankles, so to speak. But apart from that, given our experience and everything and what we've been able to see from the site and how we're managing all the stuff is literally it, like small injuries like sprains and stuff like that. Even the water access, we have a whole plan. You're not allowed access to the water once the sun sets. So our security teams will go in, bring everyone off the beach, then completely fence it off. So once the sun sets, there'll be no water access as well. While there is water access, we will determine a capacity for that area. So you don't have 5,000 people at a beach. And then our security team will be able to control that. And then on top of that, we'll have lifeguards stationed as well on the beach. So we're doing everything we can to mitigate all possible risk factors. We're also doing trail maintenance and site cleanup. So we're paying to remove all the dead trees, clean up the trails and the branches, and taking all the environmental steps to be able to make sure that it's a completely safe and secure site for everyone to congregate at.
Oh, thank you.
And Nirvana, you just want to also touch on your security checkpoints when people are arriving and how to manage it.
So when it comes to our security, if you took a look at the security plan, it's quite detailed. Once the cars arrive in, they have to go through the ingress process. So you arrive in, you get directed to the ingress area where there'll be 16 car searchers and 16 ticket scanners. The only way in which you can enter this festival is through having an RFID bracelet, which we send out to the individuals who are purchasing the tickets via mail. They obviously scan in, the car searchers do their thing and search the cars. And then once they've, passed that process, some of the things that we're looking at we have a forbidden items list on our website that clearly outlines. So we're making sure that people aren't bringing in any sharp objects or anything like that. And then we also have an alcohol policy where each individual is not allowed to bring more than 24 cans of beer or seltzers, or a maximum of per car of 72 cans per vehicle. So it can't be more than 72, but let's say if you came with like 2 people, you're allowed to bring 48. But if you came with 7 people in your car, you're still not allowed to bring more than 72. We also have a no glass policy. So any glass items found will be confiscated. Any liquor found will be confiscated. And then obviously, having once you pass that process, we'll still have plenty of security. There'll be checkpoints into the stages as well, where people have to go through another security process of getting searched before entering what we call the festival bowl. So this is primarily where all the music and stuff is going to be happening, where the largest volume of bodies will be together. So before you enter that festival bowl, you'll go through another search process. This one is of the person itself, not just the vehicle. So we have a zero drug tolerance policy. So that's the items that we will be searching for, as well as also making sure people are not sneaking booze or anything onto the festival site, because in order for us to do this properly, we do need to facilitate the sale of alcohol and the use of alcohol. And the only way to do that is by providing these search points.
I'll add to this that these are industry standard best practices that we are following, and they're both for safety, for weapons, and of course for consumption, to make sure that, again, safe place. On the weather side, we're working with meteorologists who we will have on call for the 10 days leading up and through the festival, to make sure that if there's any weather situations, we will have communications well in advance, and again, follow best practices there too.
Thank you. And Nirvana, also maybe if you could touch on, you explained to me about the communication tent and hub and your contacts throughout the perimeter of the event space that you're always in contact with.
Right. So, standard, as Sig said, with every festival, we have a communications trailer that, brings in all the necessary data, or let's say phone calls, for example. So we will have a dedicated hotline for any issues, which will be communicated through a QR code. So obviously the complaint is filed, it goes to the communications hub, then the communications hub delegates that complaint or problem to the different responsible parties. If it's a medical issue, it goes to the medical the First Response Ontario, which is our private EMS service. If it's a security issue, it'll go to the security team, and then the security team will deploy a team to go deal with it. If it's everything will be constantly logged, and that log will be made available to all the different authorities, including the police and fire or whoever requests those items. And that communications hub is specifically just to deal with those things. Then we also have a separate communications hub, which is dealing with artist transportation, more logistical production stuff as well on our end. So we have two communication hubs. We'll have two triage tents to be able to deal with any injuries that happen on site. Obviously, our paramedic team that comes in will have all the necessary equipment to deal with almost every scenario, and we labeled out clearly what needs to be transported off site to deal with if there was a medical issue of the sort. But yeah.
And I guess one other question I had, so once this moves forward and you have a site plan in place, will you be sharing a map with us on how the site will be laid out?
I did already share that to you. There was a link that says oneplan.io.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a live active link. So if you click on that link, we've laid out our site plan, and that updates in real time. So every time we make an adjustment to the site plan, you just have to click on the link, and that adjustment to the site plan will be updated. It's the best way for our transparency. The only caveat being you can only open up that link on a computer, not on your phone. But we did provide a site plan already. It's the link.
And we're more than happy to provide one as we get closer to the festival and say, hey, this is the the final version or the close to final, depending on how the situations come up. But there's nothing that we're trying to hide, and we're more than happy to share as we go forward.
Thank you.
And then from a compliance, we also need to keep working through with fire, mainly to make sure that we're in agreement on all the exits, emergency exits, and et cetera as well. So that site plan will be passed around a few times.
Thank you. Councillor Reiki-Schoenfeld.
You talk to the local fire department and the local OPP just to say what's going on, and in case something where they have to transport or the OPP has to come in for some strange known reason, that they kind of know what's going on and it's on their radar for that block of time?
Yeah, that's therefore the letter of compliance that we had submitted to you has already been sent out to Sergeant Dara. We sent it to your fire chief, who I believe had looked at the plan and said it was one of the most comprehensive and detailed plans he's ever seen. So we're already in contact with all the different departments, that building official, a bylaw, health, the public health unit at Renfrew County is already aware. And like I said, the sergeant is aware, and the fire chief is also aware.
And our paramedic services as well?
Our paramedic services is in touch with their paramedic services. The local Renfrew County does not have the resources to service this festival. Therefore, we're bringing in 12 practitioners to be on site during this festival.
Thank you. Luke, you had a question?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention, so just procedurally, I think this, if passed, this noise extension resolution would facilitate, the holding of this event as per the organizer's needs. But I believe would still work towards a special events permit being issued for it, and that would be through the consultation with the applicable agencies, and just it's more of a technical review, sign off from, for example, the fire chief building and whomever needs to be circulated with our permits.
Right, we'd submitted the special events permit, and we're fully understanding of the fact that it actually can't be fully signed off on until the site is built. We're fully aware of that process.
And just make sure that the agencies are in agreements with the plan.
Yeah, by agencies, are you referring to like fire?
Yes.
Okay. Yep, absolutely.
Thank you. Any further questions?
I don't have a question, it's more information for the organizers. Our township does have a mobile food vendor licensing fee. We do have just a weekend fee, and that's an application that I can forward to you, Fernandez.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
I was going to say you had a food truck that you wanted to get into the festival.
I did have a couple questions for council. Would you so this is purely done based on town by town basis. It's depending on what the township wants. Would you be okay with us having what we call like day passes, so people stay in Airbnbs nearby, or hotels nearby, or hotels within your township, and stuff like that? Would that be okay with the town? Usually in situations like that, it does provide a lot more economic benefit. I know that right now with the festival just being contained within the site, the economic benefit that we'd be able to provide to the township, apart from our donation, our revenue share with you, would be that members of the local town would be allowed to come, and if they have a crafts or an arts booth or anything like that, they'd be allowed to come and vend for free at the festival, while other vendors coming from outside of town do have to pay a fee. So I just wanted to see where your heads were at with allowing that.
Well, I'll just turn to the council. I mean, I think it's fine. I'm okay with it, but Councillor Recchi-Schoenfeld?
I think it's a great idea, and it could showcase some of our local crafters. I'm sure Cameron might be able to talk to that. And also maybe just having a day pass allows people to go and see what's going on. So like Nirvana said, it might open up some Airbnb or some of the motels around the area. That would be a benefit to them. Maybe not necessarily in North Algona, but maybe perhaps in Pembroke and stuff. So I would be in favor of that.
Councillor Robinson?
No, I would be in favor of it in the sense that it's a new experience, and having a day pass would allow not just our resident to partake in it, not for the whole time, but for even if it's a day, maybe it's a specific artist that's on that they wanted to see. And on the vendor part of it, it would be a very good opportunity for our local vendors to do, as Councillor Recchi-Schoenfeld indicated, to showcase the abilities that we have in our community.
Absolutely. So that's great to hear. I did want
Councillor Buckwell, I'll give him a chance to voice his.
Yeah, I would be fine with that model. Again, I think it would be a benefit. People may not be able to commit to the whole weekend, but they'd like to see what's happening, especially more people in the local community. Because generally, if somebody's going to come to an event like this from out of town, they're probably going to stay longer. but this would be a good opportunity for our local people to see what's involved and to experience and see that, these events can be, productive and positive. I think there may be some concern in members of the public when they hear about events like this, that it's going to turn into a problem event. So yeah, it'd be good for day passes or afternoon passes, whichever way you wanted to do it, to allow people to come in and see for themselves what's going on.
Yeah. I think so. What we actually already kind of like had planned was that we were going to open up like these weekend passes where it's a standard ticket. Even if you bought the weekend pass, you just are allowed to stay off site if you want to, like at a local Airbnb or a local hotel. But we do have special tickets for people from your township. So if on their driver's license it says North Algona and Wilberforce, which is something that we need to actually like kind of figure out, if is that what it says on their licenses, because like Ravensknoll says Eganville online, or
yeah, licenses will be based on their post office community, not necessarily the township. So you would have Golden Lake, Eganville, Killaloe would be the main ones.
Mine actually has Pembroke on it.
Yeah, but you're out in the boonies at the far end, so.
So what I'm actually, I guess what I'm trying to get to is that we would allot a special amount of tickets at a discounted price for you to be able to sell to your like local residences. We'll probably provide it to the township office. You'll have the hard copy tickets, and then, or we'll figure out a way to facilitate that sale. It's just common practices for festivals to, if people want to attend the event. I know that our festival prices are quite expensive, and, to a sign of good faith with the people of the township is allowing them to see what we do, and they don't need to pay full prices. But it's completely based on what's on their ID. That's how festivals usually go about doing it. So they can purchase the ticket and attend.
Good. Sounds good to me.
Thank you. Any other comments from anybody? Cameron, I didn't ask for your input yet.
Well, I would just say that if we do this festival, then North Algona Wilberforce can say that we host the two largest tourism events in the county, with the Bonachère Cup in the winter and this in the summer, so it'd be pretty sweet.
Councillor Robinson.
This was just a small practicality with one of the things that Nirvana had said was that the bands that are going to be sent out is going to be mailed out. What if you're not able to mail it out? Is there any other way that people are going to be getting that?
Yeah, we will have an on-site box office. So usually the on-site box office will have a fixed amount of passes to be able to sell on site. But for the most part, like, people do purchase tickets to festivals way in advance. But yes, we will have an on-site box office that'll be able to facilitate any sales of, if someone drove in with a friend who wasn't able to get a ticket, or we sold out, we might have some tickets left at the door, kind of a thing. Yes, we'll definitely be able to facilitate that.
And once again, mailing the wristbands in advance is a standard practice. It also allows for the festival to send out with the bands the allowed and prohibitive list, maps, so that traffic can be better controlled, and everyone's more informed when they come to site. It allows us to also share communications and have an early connection. And a lot of times what happens is our social media and our info box, our email address, will get a lot of questions. So we're just helping moving forward to keep the logistics during the weekend smoother by empowering people to, be in a better position.
Councillor Buchwald.
Yeah, just a question on that. When you talk about getting traffic information ahead of time, do you have any means to track where the majority of your population or participants are going to be coming from? Because that might help us, because we do have a couple problematic areas as far as traffic flow go, not very far from the site. that if we knew there was going to be a lot of increased traffic, saying coming up the Highway 60 corridor from the GTA, maybe we might have to make some arrangements to monitor traffic at those spots. Would there be any way to know in advance, again, from your advanced ticket sales, where the majority of people would be coming from?
Absolutely. We do have their addresses and whatnot when each individual buys the ticket, so we can definitely share that information with you.
Okay, that would be awesome. I'm just thinking, because even for OPP with traffic planning, as it's over a weekend, that might be beneficial information for them.
Yeah, no, absolutely. We can definitely provide you with all of that data when we get closer to the date, so that it's as most accurate as possible. If you can even start sharing it now, if you'd like.
I think closer to the event would be fine, but yeah, that would be probably very helpful for like our logistical planning.
Yeah, and that's great for us because that makes for a smoother, no surprises. Everyone can be better prepared and just keeps traffic moving. And also, if there's a concern about a particular area, we can all be in that conversation and figure out what the, rerouting is. And if we have to communicate something or send a special map, we will.
Awesome. Sounds good.
And just to follow up on Councillor Robinson's comment, I think one of the things she was alluding to is the looming postal strike that we could be faced with. And, is there a plan to deal with some of those challenges should they arise?
So our wristband provider is a US based company that would most likely be using FedEx or DHL to deliver their products. So
as someone who's not aware of all the ins and outs of your community, when is the postal strike supposed to happen?
I think it was supposed to happen today, but they've postponed it for at least 2 weeks based on potential opportunity for more negotiations.
Yeah. I think though, hopefully if there is a strike, it's resolved quickly. We wouldn't be sending anything out probably until about 4 weeks before the show.
Okay.
Definitely not in like the next 2 or 3 weeks. We might start a rolling rollout of mailings, but those are many weeks away, not immediately.
Yeah, and hopefully, yes, if there was a strike, the anticipated length is that the hope is that it certainly wouldn't be long.
Yeah, we've seen how that's gone before. So unfortunately, relying on companies like DHL and FedEx would, thank God that's what our providers are using. But yeah, we'll be on the lookout for almost every possible problem that could hinder this festival. I did want to ask the council, due to us, having to announce the festival and working through a site like 7 months with a different township, and then having our temporary permits there and whatnot, and then for it to get what transpired, it really, we kind of had to put a hold on all of our marketing and all of our sales. So I was wondering if we have the permission to to start marketing our event again, because we are 3 months out and we really do need to get the ball rolling there. We're quite far behind on our marketing right now for this to be a successful event.
My feeling is that as soon as council approves this, or when and if council approves this resolution, you can certainly go forward. Correct me if I'm wrong, Luke.
No, I think that would work. And again, so long as there's confidence that the agencies such as, that I mentioned, fire and OPP, are going to be satisfied. You folks have gone through that and spoken with those agencies in the past, I presume, and know what they need. So again, more of a technical confirmation at that point. So
yeah, we've sent out our like I said, our letter of compliance and all of our plans. The same thing that council received, the information packet, the current site plan, and our letter of compliance, we've already sent out to all the responsible agencies. We've asked them for a comment back on what they've received. We haven't heard anything back from the Killaloe Police Detachment. But we've heard back from Tatiana from Public Health. We've heard, I believe Cameron heard back from the fire department, and Jill from building official. Once we have our, tent structures and everything, once we start submitting that, she will be given all of that, and any structures that are going up, she will be submitted to as well.
Thank you. Well, I certainly appreciate the time that you have spent in joining us this morning, yourself, Nirvana, and Zig, and appreciate the opportunity to have you join us. So again, I'm really looking forward to this. I'm assuming it's going to be a big success. I hope the weather cooperates. That's always, when it comes to outdoor festivals, that's always one of the unknown risks that you're never 100% sure of. So hope that all works in your favor.
Thank you.
Sir Mayor, this is Mary Ann. I just wanted to let you know I was on the call. I just don't know how to use the Zoom, so I don't know how to put my face on or name. So Paul.
Oh, I think you muted yourself, MA.
Yeah.
I don't know how to use this.
So Marianne is the business owner of Ravens Knoll, who's hosting the festival.
Thank you. And it's pleased to have you with us, Mary Ann. Is there anything else you wanted to add before we take our vote?
I would just say that, we've been here 15 years. I do an event plan that goes to fire, police, and paramedics before the event. And, we have great working relationships with everybody. I was a little bit hesitant, too, about just the size of the festival and everything. And I have to say that I'm very, very impressed with Nirvana and his whole team. Just the preparation, every question, it has a response, and they are also, willing to do some upgrades to be able to safely put people here, and that's all going to be local contractors too, which helps out everyone. So I'm just really impressed by them. So,
well, thank you very much. And because I'm not connected to a power outlet, I just got a message that my computer is in low power mode. So I'm going to call the vote on this resolution before I lose my connectivity. All in favor? That is carried. Thank you all once again very much. And you're good to go, Nirvana.
Thank you. Cameron will be giving you a call about the social media post, and then we can go from there.
Okay, perfect.
Right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you for your.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Okay.
The amount of stress that's been
thank you.
I can imagine. And good luck, guys.
All right, thank you.
Sure.
Thank you, everyone.
Okay. Bye-bye.
So moving back to our agenda, we have no closed meeting today. So I'll have our confirmatory bylaw, that bylaw 2025-27 being a bylaw to confirm the proceedings of council for May the 23rd, 2025 is read a first and second time this 23rd day of May, 2025. Mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Buchwald, seconded by Councillor Robinson. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. And finally, I have a resolution that this May 23rd, 2025 special meeting of council adjourns at 11:54 a.m. Mover and a seconder, moved by Councillor Buchwald, seconded by Councillor Recchi-Schoenfeld. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you all very much. Appreciate your attendance on a Friday morning.
Have a good week.
Great.
Awesome. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Bye.
Have a nice weekend.